I was a teenager when I started tech. But when I started with the wrong course. I was probably the youngest Oracle certified professional in Nigeria or maybe Africa. I'm talking being certified as an Oracle professional at maybe 17, 18. And I'd not even gone to university at that time. I remember going for interviews then. Little me wearing my dad's suits at interviews.
I can imagine.
In Lekki, at Ikoyi, in Abuja. You see a tiny boy amongst several uncles and aunties and they are wondering, you think na play they can't do for a year? There's this interview I went for in Lekki. The people there thought somebody came to drop me. Maybe
the
quickly.
Child of someone.
Do you understand? When it was my turn to go in, the lady at the front desk was, no, this is, we have a young man here that said is here for the interview, but and the man came outside and saw me and was like, young man, what did you come to do? I said, I came here for the interview. And it was an interview for an Oracle database administrator.
Okay.
So he's like, okay, come in. Instead of him asking me questions about, he was asking me what is SQL. And I was answering his questions. He asked me a few questions on general stuff and I was like, I just dusted these questions. And I was like, okay. Then he just moved to the advanced stuff, workshops, began to ask me about backup and recoveries, performance tuning. And I was just dusting his questions like, what? How did you know this thing? Right? I'm like, well, I went to school, I studied it. And fortunately for me, I think I like it. And I was like, how old are you? And I told him my age. He's like, have you even gone to university? I said, no. He said, how? Who are your parents?
Hello. And welcome to the Data and AI Gist. My name is Ade-Akanbi. Why are we doing this? We have discovered the need for professionals to get adequate information about data and AI practices in Africa. We've discovered also that there's the need to bring in people that have spent years in this space, educating people, training people, building solutions in data analytics and AI across Africa. And we want to bring this knowledge to you, the audiences, so that you can grow as well in your career. There has been a lot of confusion in the data analytics and AI space. I have been in this space for a couple of years and I have seen this as well. For you also listening to this, it may be a position where you've listened to a lot of information, you've read a lot of articles, you've seen a lot of content about data and AI, and you find yourself even more confused as you listen to them or read about them. We are bringing in professionals from across Africa that have built, that have trained, that also continue to provide resources and solutions in this space so that you hear directly from the horse's mouths. Join us on this exciting journey. And our guest today is the visionary CEO of Avita Technologies, a database and machine learning authority certified in Oracle ADB, Oracle ML, and a TEDx speaker shaping Africa's AI future. Welcome, Seun Akintibubo.
Thank you, Philip.
All right. It's so good to have you here once again. And it's been
see you too.
Quite a journey from the last time we discussed. And by the way, viewers, he trained me in data science and machine learning. So you are speaking with my own trainer as well, and you'll be hearing a lot of information from him. So before we get started, do you have a nickname we can use or people can call you?
All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come on this podcast. Once again, I'm Seun. Nickname, I do not really have a nickname, but back in the days, people call me Oracle.
Yes, absolutely. That's what we know you as. That's the Oracle himself of data and AI. All right. So tell us, how long have you been in the data and analytics space?
Okay. Data analysis. Well, I've been in the data analysis space for about 7 years now, but in the data field, right? I think this will be my 18th year.
Incredible. Wow. So you also train in analytics professionals.
Yes,
and
I do.
Like I mentioned earlier, you trained me as well. And I'm doing what I do today because of trainings like from you as well. How long have you been training analytics professionals?
Okay, so for analytics professionals, right? Okay, let me say it this way. I've done most of the things I've done is around training, right? And the reason is because early I discovered my talent and gift for training, right? And when I got into the tech field, right, I discovered that I had a very good knack of understanding for this things, right? So. And my ability to be able to distill this knowledge to people, right, grew as of course, grow in age, right? So, of course, back then I started with Oracle, Oracle database,
Back in the
10G.
day.
Yeah, that's about 2007, 2008.
Interesting.
And, but for data analytics didn't become an household skill up until maybe, 2010, 2011. Then it became, more prominent in, pre-COVID. Right? Say 2017, 2018, 2019. Right? So I kind of pivot my career from database administration to data analysis around 2017, 2018.
Okay.
Right? But if we're going to, go by the body of knowledge, right? Let me just say it yes. Right. Let me just say it is.
Thank you very much. And just a question I want to find out right now. What are some of the success stories from the people you've trained previously?
Wow, that's a beautiful question. Success stories. Truth be told, I've trained over 8,000 students. Direct.
Impressive.
And in Cascade or in bombardment, maybe about 15,000. My students are training across the world presently.
Awesome.
Right. I have about 5 students presently who are trainers in top technology spaces in Lagos.
Awesome.
Right. I have this year alone, right? This is April.
Yeah.
Right. I've graduated about 40. I just graduated 42 data scientists.
Awesome.
Right.
Impressive.
Some weeks ago. Right. I have students all across the world, all across the continents of the world.
Wow.
Right. Who learned from me and went across the world to do great stuff. One of the beautiful stories that I like to tell is that last year I had this student for about 3-4 years now. But give me this very beautiful story last year. He used to be a gateman or a security officer with one of Nigeria's big oil and gas company. All right. I don't know if I'm permitted to mention names. All right. But, he started the journey with me, wasn't very easy. Right. But last year he became a management information system, analyst for the company, for the same company.
Impressive.
Right?
From being a
gatesman, a security guy to being in the management, information tech, MIS,
impressive.
So that is one of the things that keeps me up and doing for those things. I have a woman as well who migrated to Canada last year. I think she should be in her 50s or 60s, late 50s, early 60s. She did, a bit of short program with me. It was a direct mentorship. Right. And, when she told me she was traveling to, migrating with her family, I was like, okay, that's fine. I thought she was just going to keep our business in Nigeria, which was going to fund her lifestyle across, in Canada and all that. Well, only for her to reach out to me about 3-4 weeks after that she got a job in Canada. I'm like, what?
Wow.
At 60, late 50s, early 60s, as it did.
Impressive.
Right? So these are some of the stories that keeps me going, right? I have students across major Nigerian banks who are building beautiful AI projects.
Awesome.
In several Nigerian banks. Awesome. I have students across the oil and gas companies as well. Awesome. Upstream, downstream. I have a lot of.
That's really incredible. And to even put it into perspective, so there's this report we came up with some time ago about analytics professionals in Africa, and we found out that Nigeria had the highest number of analytics professionals.
True.
Right. So we looked at LinkedIn's data, and we discovered 82,000 data analysts, 16,000 data engineers, and 11,000 data scientists. So I want to put this in perspective for the viewers, where you've trained about 15,000 people. So that means a very huge chunk of people out there, took trainings from you. And that's really impressive.
The truth about it as well is that a lot of people have done trainings, right? But a whole lot of people are not in tech at the moment. Right. So a lot of people did those trainings, right? Some of them found their way outside of the country. Some of them because they didn't have the grit and tenacity to keep at tech. Tech can be very gruesome.
Yeah.
Right. So, they transitioned into something else. All right.
Okay.
So I would not want to say that I trained, all the 15,000 or all the 8,000 that I've trained are really doing stuff in tech. Right.
Okay.
By my statistics, usually that number, trickles down to about maybe 5-10% of them that is still doing stuff
currently.
Right. Currently.
Awesome. So that would then bring me to a question to ask you. What are some of the common pain points that you've seen people that are trying to get into this space, the pain points they faced, and how have you helped them to overcome these challenges?
All right. That's a great question. Pain points that I've noticed, right? First of all, is people have the question, where do I start from?
Absolutely.
Where do I start from? Right. And some way, somehow, right? I know it's getting better, right? Tech has been mystified to people, right?
I agree on that.
Like a field where only brilliant guys, only a certain age
gurus, geniuses,
right, can go into, right? But one of the things that I set out to do is to demystify tech.
Awesome.
Right. And I like it when people come and they ask those questions, where do I start from? The challenges is that, or one of those challenges is that there's a whole lot of, information, misinformation, like you mentioned earlier, that has derailed people from the right path. But how do you start, right? For the data analytics field, right? You, first of all, I like to inform people that you just need to have passion for tech.
Yeah.
Right. There is no doing anything with tech if it's not going to be a lifestyle. Tech has to be a lifestyle. It has to be what you would think about every day. It is not the second option. It has to be the main option.
Oh, yes.
Right. So then you now need to get your hands dirty on the skills. Now, when we talk about skills, people tend to talk about tools. So there's a difference between skills and tools.
Yeah.
Right. And which is where a whole lot of people, for me, I call it the valley of death. Right. You have a whole
value of death.
The valley of death.
Valley of death.
A lot of people are dead in that valley. Right. And what they do is they begin to chase, I want to be a data analyst. Right. Then they begin to chase tools like Power BI, Tableau, Python. Right. And what you discover is that they have these tools. They're like farmers who have cutlasses and hoes, but do not know anything about agriculture. Right. But there's a body of knowledge that you need to start with.
Absolutely.
Which is statistics and mathematics. All right. Yes, you would read articles, you hear podcasts that says that mathematics and statistics are not really necessary. But the end point is this. Today, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, all of these AI tools can actually do the analysis.
Yeah.
But what makes you still relevant in the field is understanding what the AI tool has done and be able to present it, be able to apply it, be able to interpret it, right? So that is where your statistical knowledge and mathematical knowledge comes into play. All right. Now, can you navigate the field do you have to understand statistics as a professor to do that? No, not necessarily.
Because a lot of people would tend to think, now I have to go learn data statistics. I have to go learn.
Funny thing is that you don't even need to
hypothesis.
You don't even need to understand the whole statistics. All you need to understand is maybe inferential statistics. All right. Statistics is a broad body of knowledge. Right. So you just need to understand
the good old media mode.
Exactly, right? We want to understand measures of position, measures of centrality, measures of variability, sampling, hypothesis testing, regression, all of those kinds of stuff. Those knowledge are what helps you interpret the analysis that has been done, right? Because to the consumers of those analysis, they do not understand the technical jargon that you have put together, right? The charts, the codes that you have written, they do not care about those codes.
Actually,
right?
True.
Even your visualizations, they do not care about it. What they want to know is how does this translate to the bottom line of the company? Exactly. So if you do not understand the difference between mean and median and how to apply mean and median and mode, right? How do you interpret the analysis?
Very true.
Right? So one of the major pain points is where to start from. Right. So when you get that body of knowledge, then you can now chase the tools, which is Microsoft Excel. You start from Excel, right? People tend to want to jump Excel and move to Python, R, and all that. But for me, there is no understanding data analysis without Excel.
In today's world, no,
right? In fact, for me, I think Excel should be taught in secondary schools. Every single person, either you're a data analyst or not, you should know how to use Excel. Because what we do in today's world is all around data. Everything we do is data. This conversation is data. Everything that we have done today, you're waking up, you're stepping, every single thing you have done today is data, right? Somebody has to analyze that. Presently, the world is generating about 148 petabytes of data daily, and less than 1% of it is being analyzed. That tells you that the world is blind.
Wow.
Right? Africa is not even contributing to this data pool yet. Nigeria is not contributing to this data pool yet. So there is
a lot of it is not digital yet.
Because we have our hospitals still working with files and file cabinets. I
have a story to share regarding our hospital bits.
So there's a lot of data missing, right? Even the companies that are doing great stuff with data still have a whole lot of missing data. I consulted for a bank one time, and the data that they gave to us to work with had about 48% missing values, missing data.
Wow.
Out of about 10 million data, 48%. How do you move on?
Yeah. How do you even get a good representation of the entire population?
From the beginning, there's a bias. There is no way you want to either employ machine learning or statistical techniques or computation to fix that, or feature engineering to fix that. The bias is set, bias is set. Do you understand what I'm saying? So one of the issues is where to start from. Then, the tools to learn.
Okay.
Right. I also see people want to, they want to belong. There's that belonging that people want to do. Right. So instead of you to stick with Excel and move from Excel to SQL and from SQL to Power BI, but because you went to a conference and the speaker and people there were talking about Python, you want to talk about Python and machine learning. You want to just jump right into that, right? There is no way. You are going to get frustrated along the way. So where to start from? The skills to learn. And also another pain point that we have is opportunities.
Opportunities.
Companies need experience.
Yes.
They want to hire experienced people.
Yes.
Right. And you as a student, you do not have that experience. Even though, I usually tell my student that your training with me is an experience, because our trainings are usually, project based.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that forms like an experience.
I can testify to that.
That forms like an experience for you.
Yes.
Right. So, but how do you get this experience? Right. You have to work on projects. After you've learned all of this things, you have to now take real life data, right? From Kaggle, from UIC, from UCI, from Databank, from all of these data repositories, right? Take these datas. Even if you take a data that does not have a business case, use AI to generate business cases, right? And analyze. Do you understand? Create a portfolio for yourself of projects that you can work, such that when you have you have enough projects to show, right? In your portfolio, right? Employers can trust you to an extent, right? For them to give you opportunities.
Okay.
Right. Pain point is that people also, tend to chase certifications.
Oh yes, I do agree on that.
Certifications are important, but they're optional.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason is because our field is not an administrative field, right? We're more of researchers, right?
Yeah.
We're more of
figuring
things out. So there is really no body of certifications that we can recommend, that I can recommend to you. But if you would like to do certifications, Google certifications are there, IBM has a certification, right? Microsoft has a certification for data analysis, right?
Almost all the companies,
right? So you can take those certifications, but these certifications should not be a barrier of entry for you.
Oh yeah.
Right? You can start, the skills are very, very important. Once you have the skills, right, you can therefore get the certifications along the way.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And that's been really incredible. As you have seen and heard, right? Those are the things you should do, because this is the working formula for thousands of people, right? So let's veer a bit away from, the skill sets and, discuss something interesting. A lot of people want to work, internationally.
Okay.
Right. A lot of people have an idea that when you think about tech, tech is all about going into building a skill set that can make you work with an international company, right? So I would just then ask, do analytics professionals in Nigeria and by extension in Africa, do we have what it takes to work in these international companies, to work anywhere in the world?
Excellent question. Right. Of course, growing up, we know that we hear that saying that Africans are brilliant, right? Nigerian being the most populous black nation in the world, right?
Yes.
Is a hub of the most brilliant black people,
Yeah,
right?
by sheer number.
By the fact. Well,
Yeah.
we don't want to go into that statistics.
Okay. All right.
Right. Or dig deep into what that actually entails, right? Right. But in all fairness, Nigerians are good at what they do. I have trained analysts, I've trained people, and I've seen what they become. If sometimes I'm even surprised at the magnitude of, I'm like, no, I don't think it's what I trained this person that this person is using.
Yeah.
Right? So are we good enough for the international market? Of course, yes. Right? We have examples, right? Across the world. Nigerians who are doing stuff. There is a Nigerian that is in the midst of, is the lead, machine learning engineer for GitHub.
Wow.
Right? My mentor, Yemi Fowe, is the principal researcher for Ade Technologies. Right? Ade Technologies does everything that has to do with, self-driving cars, all of those sensoring and all of that. He's a Nigerian. Friends from OAU, right? So we have that also spirit. We have that can-do spirit, right? And Nigerians have a way of leveraging, of course, because we know that nothing is going to be handed on to us. Right? So we tend to go for stuff, right? So you see people leveraging platforms like YouTube, right? Coursera, right? Udacity, EDX, right? Just to get the skills that they need, right? And for the Nigerians that are able to go all the way, right? They are exceptional because the way we consume information is voracious, right? Nigerians want to know a lot. They want to have seen this. I am one, and I've seen how much of what people, right? People like you, people like everyone that we know that is in this space, right? How much of information that they have. And when given the opportunities, right? The things that they can do, right? So I think that, and of course, one thing we should not forget is that the main export of Nigeria is not crude oil, it's human resource. Right?
I would agree with you on that.
And that human resource, right, a large chunk of it is coming from tech already.
Yes.
Right. And that, which is why it looks as if there's a brain drain in Nigeria, right? People migrating out of the country, right? But still, right, we still have a whole lot of people in the country who are still learning, right, who are still, burning that candle to get the information. So, foreign organizations, foreign companies can tap into this pool of talent, right? And what it does is that it helps us also develop a creative economy, right? Where these guys now have experience with foreign organizations, and they can actually set up stuff, right? Set up organizations. Imagine you as a person with your experience now doing this, right? This is a creative economy, right? Somebody who has worked with an organization can now become a mentor to people in Nigeria, or even start up a company where he's able to train or, do stuff in the tech field, not just the data field, the tech field. So we have that talent, right? We have the grit, we have the tenacity, we have the wherewithal, we have everything that it takes, right?
Thank you very much, Oracle himself. And I love the fact that you mentioned that there's almost what looks like a brain drain, right? Especially regarding tech talents and now analytics professionals. I had a question that I was going to ask regarding, will grooming the local talents for international organizations not affect the local supply in Nigeria? Then it's a 2-in-1.
Okay.
And at what point should entry-level data professionals start to dream of working for these international organizations?
All right. Thank you. For the brain drain, right? First of all, we should understand that there is no way everybody can leave the country. Right. And if you look at the statistics of people who have left the country, right? yes, there is the brain drain. We can feel it. But in the real sense, there's still a whole lot of people who we need to give opportunities to. So I do not think that there is a brain drain, right? Have we lost talent? Yes, we have. Have we lost major talent? Yes, we have. But do we still have a repository of talent? Yes, we do. Right? There's the argument on Twitter, on X some days ago, that the talents that we have, they are not employable and all of that, right?
Oh yeah, I think I see a couple of those.
I do not agree. The talents that left the country were trained.
Absolutely.
Either self-trained or mentor-trained or whatever sort of training.
Every professional that is a tech professional today, it was trained.
They had a form of training, right? Yeah. So why not take these people in and train them? Right? Yes, it is business. We cannot play like that. But some people took chances on these people.
Oh yes.
Right?
Oh, yes.
And we have a large pool of people. Right? You just read out the statistics, about 82,000.
Yes.
And I can tell you that number is only the numbers that can be, that was cashed.
Yes.
That's
on
a
LinkedIn.
lot on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Right? I think 2022 or 2023, Coursera said Nigeria is top 3 companies in the world, top 3 countries in the world that are taking a course on Coursera.
Wow.
So we have the talent, right? There is no brain drain, right? But what does that do for us, right? We need opportunities we need our people to get good, right?
Oh yeah.
Understand these skills, right? They get local opportunities before they can proceed to get international opportunities. And funny thing is that if they get these international opportunities and they're working remotely and they're in Nigeria, of course that is foreign exchange for the country.
Oh yeah.
Right? And they also become mentors to the next generation, because knowledge has to be passed down.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a cycle, and we continue like that, and we continue like that. So it is very expedient that we take this serious, right? It's very expedient that we give people opportunities. There is no way an international organization would hire someone who does not have experience. The experience, I'm not answering the second question now.
Yeah.
The experience has to come local. The chances of you getting a remote job with a foreign organization with almost no experience is very low. But if our local organizations, if our local companies are able to give our people, right, these opportunities, right, internships, right, project works, all of those kinds of stuff, right, it gives them the experience that they cannot leverage in the international community. Remember that this international community is not created for Nigerians alone. You have Chinese people there.
Yeah, Indians.
You have Indians, right? You have people all around the world in that same market, right? So it becomes it's a large pool.
Okay.
Right? That we now have to fight our way into.
But if I then ask as a follow-up, when the local organizations train these talents and these talents then leave to international organizations, doesn't it come to affect that pool, or not pool I would use, that resources that they've spent?
So the reason why our people keep leaving is because the earning power is not the same across the world.
There's a parity.
Right? A data analyst in Nigeria, it maybe an entry-level data analyst in Nigeria is probably earning, say, 350. Right? What am I even talking about?
It may be less.
I've seen companies that wants to pay 80K, 100K. There's a company, I would not mention the area, that wanted to pay 140 for a data scientist. Somebody brought it to me and said, can you apply? I say, for you to apply to this, it means that you are not my student. For you to be able to go for this kind of opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So the reason why people leave the country, the reason why there's this chase for remote jobs is because of the disparity in payment, in remuneration. Right? So which means that our organizations they need to level up. That's the only way to keep these staffs, because these guys continue to improve themselves. You can't go from 0 to 0 to 100 in 2 years and still expect to earn
the same
when
salary.
Your counterpart across the world is doing 50 times that salary. So that is the major challenge, right? So once our organization, I take for example, I know some of the banks did that this year. some of the banks had to increase
Yes.
their
We have a report up at Decision Spark Technologies as well that shows the increments.
A lot of them did increment. Why? Because there are people, they saw the brain drain that they went through last year, and they saw signs. Of course, the trend is there, right? They saw signs that was going to happen again, right? And it is not just. Now the challenge is that it is not just remote jobs that is taking the people. It is that you have a whole lot of solid tech team in an organization, and there are several organizations that have just very mid or very low tech team,
and they need the expertise.
Do you understand? There is no load balancing across, right? These talents are not evenly distributed. So you have the companies in Nigeria or in Africa that are able to pay well, right? Attracting this talent, while the, other guys are not ready to do not want to pay.
Oh, yeah.
So it is pay. You have to come up, right? Our organizations have to come up in terms of how much they pay, right?
It is either that or the recycling of training new people.
And the thing is, if we are able to, we don't even say, we're not saying you should, be on par with the foreign organizations, right? The economies are not the same, right?
Oh, yeah.
But come up a little bit, right? Let Nigerians, let our tech guys be. You cannot be a tech guy, not, is the attractiveness to that field is that you live a comfortable life. That's the major attractiveness to it. As a tech guy, once you say you're a tech guy, you are head warmer like this. There's an expectation. You cannot be carrying laptop and be saying there's no money.
Okay.
Do you understand? Right? So you come up a little bit, right? Then these guys are able to stay. And what happens is that because they're able to stay for a while in your organization, will they leave eventually? Maybe, maybe not. But they would be able to help you recycle talent, right? And train people, right? You bring in, beginners or internship, people through your internship program. They train these people so they can replicate themselves in the organization before they leave. But what you have is that people, there are videos everywhere, that these things everywhere that says, I can't bring somebody into my organization because I would not allow my younger one to come and earn the same salary, right? That I suffered for and I'm about to leave, right? Do you understand? So when an organization has that, when people in organizations have that kind of mentality, of course the organization will suffer for it.
Interesting. Thank you very much. And you are still on the Data and AI Gist podcast, where we are bringing you face to face with the people that have been in this space for years. They've trained talents, they've built solutions, and you are listening to them live on the Data and AI Gist. So, to veer a bit away from conversations regarding the talents themselves, and we're discussing this earlier, also, where do you see the field of data analytics evolving in Africa? Where do you see it evolving to in Africa for the next few years?
That's a major question. All right. And like we mentioned earlier, you said we were discussing earlier, right? The field of data, right, is still in its embryonic state. I just mentioned to you that with the amount of data that's been generated across the world, all right, less than 1% is being analyzed every day. Right? So let's just create a world where 10% is being analyzed. For us to be able to analyze 10%, do you know the number of data analysts?
Oh, yeah.
Database administrators,
data engineers,
machine learning experts that we would need to get that done. Should they value to 20%, 30%, 40%, 100%? I don't know if the world will see 100% one of these days. But what I know is that we were not where we used to be.
Absolutely true.
All right? We also need that. We also need let me say it this way. What data can become, what this field can become, is that we'll continue to produce talent.
I agree on that.
We'll continue to produce talent. We'll be able to ship this talent out, right? But the challenge is this. We also, as Africans, as Nigerians, we need to now have the consciousness of a producer. We should not be consumers of technology alone. We should be producers of technology, which is where we should be able to look at, right? So take, for example, you want to analyze data now, right? You still have to look to foreign organizational data, foreign generated data to be able to understand, do you understand, right?
And the models.
In this country, in this continent, we need companies that can perform or that can be, that their major goal is data gathering. Right? We have a few of them.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos to them. But we need a lot.
We need more.
We need more. Right? We need people who can be futuristic and see the future of data. But even before seeing the future of data, we need to still at the moment use data to solve a whole lot of problems. We have the health sector. The health sector needs to embrace the use of data fully.
I agree with you.
A lot of our people wear smart wristwatches, but there's an essence, there's a reason why these companies create smart wristwatches. It's not just for fashion.
Yeah.
These wristwatches are gathering data.
Yeah.
Who is analyzing that data?
Yeah.
They're telling you that your blood sugar is high.
Yeah.
Some doctor somewhere in the saner climb, right, can see exactly what that data is without having to interface with his client.
Yeah. And even run some predictions.
Rerun predictions. Fraud detection.
Yeah.
We need our organizations. We have these organizations that are not even ready to embrace the possibility of using or leveraging data for fraud detection. There are models that can be developed to help you navigate and, fix that. We have the agricultural sector, right?
So many sectors.
There's a lot of, the pharmaceutical sector is there. The e-commerce is there. The logistic is there. The future of real estate is not these major buildings. I'm not a real estate expert, but I like to think futuristic.
Of course.
Right? I mentioned a bit of it to you the other time, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's looking into that. Right? So the opportunities are endless. It is as far as you can see.
As far as you can see. And I like the way you mentioned it, that we are the embryonic stage.
We are still at the embryonic state.
Impressive.
There is still quantum computing coming. For me, I feel that this phase that we're in presently is to form a base for a new world. All right? We're in the fourth industrial revolution, almost coming to an end, ushering in the fifth industrial revolution. But this fourth industrial revolution has leverage on the impact of the third industrial revolution, the internet age and all that, right? But we're in a major decisive moment. We're at the core of what is happening, what the world wants to become, right? And data is the major. At the moment, there is nothing better than data. Data is the new oil. There is nothing better than data, right? So data presently is not the goal.
Yes.
Data is not the goal. Data is the means to an end.
Yes.
But this means is very important because it forms the base for everything. For whatever field you are in, for whatever thought process you have, for whatever. Data is the base at which you are building.
Very true.
So now, before it used to be technology as the base, but now data is the base. You have technology on that base. Your stack of technology the architecture has to be redesigned.
Of course.
Technology used to be the base, but now it is data.
You are correct on that when you say even infrastructure are being redesigned. I know that on good authority, a couple of people we've worked with as well, people are looking into these spaces, but we are still at the very, very early stages, like you mentioned.
Exactly.
And I also love something you mentioned regarding data being what everything is now. I say something as well, and you mentioned it previously, that everybody is a data analyst. And I say this in trainings, I say this in conferences and everywhere I'm allowed to speak, that everybody is a data analyst. If you are out there today, you have to look at the map before you leave your house, or you're going to a location, you want to see if there's traffic, or you notice that the cloud is cloudy out and you take your umbrella. That's you being a data analyst. Because you've gathered data from previous times to see that anytime there's cloud, it's likely to rain. So let me take my umbrella. Right, to move along and prevent that. Thank you very much, Oracle himself. But let's do something interesting. It's time to blow your trumpet. Because we've noticed that a lot of people that have been in this space have been very quiet, have been very, I will use the word mellow. Right. So we want to also give the opportunity for people to also know the people that are building in this space, that have been building in this space. Right. So what is the most impressive thing that you have achieved early in your career that has brought you through the journey that you've gone through and to where you are today?
Okay. I would answer that question this way.
Okay.
Okay. I wanted to be a medical doctor.
Wow.
Yes.
That makes two of us now.
I wanted to be a medical doctor. In fact, I chased being a medical doctor for about 7 years.
Wow.
All right. But it didn't come to fruition.
Mm.
All right. In between that journey, I found tech. All right. But my journey into tech was, if you look at it from, if you analyze it from what I studied, I was a teenager when I started tech.
Mm.
So for me, I started early, right? One of the, graces or opportunities that I had, right? I started early, right? But when I started with the wrong course, right? I started with Oracle.
Oh, yeah.
I do not have the data to support this, but I can say that when I finished my program, I was probably the youngest Oracle certified professional in Nigeria.
Wow.
Or maybe Africa. Because I'm talking being certified as an Oracle professional at maybe 17, 18.
Wow.
Right?
Impressive.
And I'd not even gone to university at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd already started training. Right? So I remember going for interviews then. Right? And little me wearing my dad's suits at interviews.
I can imagine.
In Lekki, in Ikoyi, in Abuja. Right? And funny thing is my parents were very supportive, right? So awesome. I go for these interviews and I'm just there. Right? Of course, I know that my chances of getting those jobs are very slim, but I just wanted to understand what the old space looked like, right? So I just go for those interviews and you see a tiny boy amongst several uncles and aunties and they are wondering, you think na play they can't do for a year, right? And they are calling me and there's this interview I went for in Lekki where it was on a Saturday. In fact, it rained that day. So a lot of people came late, but I was there. Was supposed to start for 9. I was there around 8:15 or so.
Okay.
So somebody thought maybe the people there thought somebody came to drop me. Like maybe somebody came for the interview, came with me, and maybe quickly.
Child of someone.
Do you understand? Right? And I sat down, and when it was my turn to go in, I stood up, and they're like, "No, you are not. You are." I said, "I'm here for the interview." So the man was like, "What is happening?" The lady at the front desk was, "No, this is
for the
this is not this." Do you understand? So the man was like, "What is happening there?" He said, "We have a young man here that said is here for the interview, but." And the man came outside and saw me. Was like, "Young man, what did you come to do?" I said, "I came here for the interview." And it was an interview for an Oracle database administrator.
Okay.
So he's like, "Okay, come in." Right? And he sat me down. He's like, instead of him asking me questions about, he was asking me what is SQL. And I was answering his questions. Are you kidding me? Do you know what my nickname was then? Right? And he was asking me questions and he asked me a few questions on general stuff. And I was like, I just dusted these questions. And I was like, okay. Then he just moved to the advanced stuff, workshops, began to ask me about backup and recoveries, performance tuning. And I was just dusting these questions like, what? How did you know this thing? Right? I'm like, well, I went to school, I studied it. And fortunately for me, I think I like it. And I was like, how old are you? And I told him my age. He's like, have you even gone to university? I said, no. He said, how? Who are your parents? Do you get? So for me, that start gave me this opportunity to be able to do. Was it the wrong course to do at that time? Maybe. But along the way, it helped me understand data. It helped me love data. It helped me, balance myself into the field of data, right? Where I've established myself now.
Awesome.
Right. So I think that would be the major turning point for my career, right? I eventually went to school to study biochemistry, but I didn't go to class.
He said he didn't go to class.
Right, I didn't go I finished from University of Ibadan, right? But I didn't go to class, right? Because I was probably somewhere talking data, teachings.
If you're listening to this and you're still in school,
don't do
this.
Please
Finish your degree.
No, I did finish my degree.
Yeah.
Right. But I was up and around, right? I was consulting for government as at early 21, 22. I was consulting for organizations. I was traveling across Nigeria, to get stuff done for organizations.
That's really impressive.
That was how I started all of this. So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, before we go, I want you to tell us about your company, Avita Technologies.
All right. Thank you. Avita Technologies is a training, advisory, and consulting organization, born out of the fact that we saw that Nigeria still needs a whole lot of training, right? Solution development in everything that relates to tech, right? And understanding the fact that a whole lot of people who have been in this space before kind of have mystified this tech space. Our goal is to be able to demystify it such that anybody, right, young and old, can come into tech and use tech as a skill, as a tool, as an empowerment to leverage their life, right? To leverage their lives, sorry. So our goal is to train, skill up Nigeria, right? Either as individuals, as in corporate organizations, in government organizations, whatever spaces.
Awesome.
We are available to train, and we also, of course, develop solutions for organizations that need them. Software solutions. We develop models as well. Of course, that is what I do, right? Develop data models, analyze database issues, everything that has to do with advisory and consulting, as long as it has to do with, tech.
And it's impressive because Nigeria, and by extension Africa, being like the data I shared earlier, that Nigeria is leading in this space by sheer number, we need more. Right, as we've discovered that there's even the need to train a lot of more people. Yeah,
we need a whole lot of data as service companies. We need a whole lot of machine learning as service companies. We need a lot of service as companies, or product as service companies. We need a whole lot of these companies, right? And that way, when we have a whole lot of them, right, it would not look outrageous for a 10-man company whose budget is just 2 million for tech to be able to, leverage tech.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Because it looks as if we're leaving out a whole lot of businesses who can't afford the high level tech. Right. Proprietary softwares and all of that. Right. But there's open source that we can leverage on for all of these companies. But we just need Nigerians to sit up and create these companies. Right. It doesn't have to be good from the beginning. Just start up. Yeah. Right. Take one of these businesses, take one of these challenges and begin to solve them. Do you understand, right? Yeah. So that is what we need to do. Such that my goal is that at the end of maybe 2030, maybe 2035, we have become or will become a technology producing company. Country. Not consuming.
Not just consuming.
Right? We're not producing any technology at the moment. Right? I was telling some of my students that the R consortium, right, has only one server in Africa. They have 10 in the US. Chinese has about 15. There is no way we can develop. That server used to be at University of Cape Town.
In South Africa.
But in South Africa, I do not know what happened. They had to move that server to Telnet in South Africa. So that South Africa, that server that used to be in a research environment, university environment, now is in an organization, a company. What that does is that if we're not careful, right, research from the frontiers of Africa is gone. So we are not contributing. Right? I know that a whole lot of our guys, I know boys that are developing packages and, shipping libraries and all of that, but we need a lot of people. More. We need to become that technology producing country.
Thank you very much, Oracle himself. That is Seun Akintibubo, the principal at Avita Technologies. Thank you for sharing invaluable insights.
Thank you.
And to you, our audiences and our listeners, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, rate us on your favorite podcast platform, share with friends who care about topics like this, and let's get the news and story going. You can find the full episodes, the notes, the resource links on the channels. And if you have any feedback, any suggestions, if you would like to see anybody speak with me here, please make the recommendation in the chat box section. Thank you very much. And until next time, keep questioning and keep your curiosity alive. Thank you very much.